So it has come to my attention that a lot of people eat eggs. So do I. So in this video, we're going to be looking at 4 ways to cook eggs. And in future videos, I'll be showing you 4 more ways how to use these same egg hacks. And in this video, we're going to show you how to boil eggs, scramble eggs, fry eggs, and poach eggs, because these will be the foundation for future videos. Let's go ahead and get started with the highly nutritious, protein-packed, delicious tasting Time Magazine's Worst Food of the Year and Time Magazine's Comeback Food of the Year. The simple, humble, sometimes expensive egg. And for the first way that we're going to be cooking these eggs is probably the first way you ever cooked eggs. I had to take a guess. I know it was definitely the first way that I ever cooked eggs, which is going to be scrambled. It's the easiest for a reason because it's really hard to mess up. The worst thing you can do with a scrambled egg is to overcook it and it dries out. But even if you do that, it's still actually pretty good. We're going to start with a bowl, crack 2 eggs in there. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of salt, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon for 2 eggs. And then we're going to grab a fork or a whisk. I sometimes use chopsticks. And I'm just going to get these mixed together really well. Now, there are plenty of ways to do this part. Most of the time when I'm making scrambled eggs, I don't even do this. But if you're looking for a nice cohesive yellowness throughout your entire egg, you don't want any big white splotches in the egg, this is what you want to do first. Otherwise, toss the egg in there, break it up, scramble it. And there's also different ideas on whether you should salt your eggs first or not, if you should salt them after they're cooked, salt them as soon as they get in the pan. But I don't think you're going to mess this part up too bad. In my experience, salting beforehand is fine as long as you don't salt it way too far ahead. But we're going to be cooking these pretty quickly, so I'm not too worried about that right now. And my eggs are looking pretty good. Nice yellow consistency throughout. And then we're going to get a pan set over medium heat. I'm going to toss in about a tablespoon's worth of butter. This is unsalted butter because I've already salted my eggs. I don't need any more salt in this. Everything should be good. I want to coat the bottom of the pan pretty well. If you're using nonstick, you probably don't need as much butter. This is a carbon steel pan and it's seasoned very well, but things still do stick sometimes. And I just like the flavor of the butter with the eggs. If you want to use a different oil for your eggs, tallow would be great, lard's great. I've got my butter melted completely. I've coated the entire bottom of my pan. What I'm going to do is just pour my eggs right in. And immediately you'll notice that it starts to cook. All I'm going to do is take a spatula and just start pulling my eggs in. There's only 2 eggs, so it shouldn't take too long. And you'll know they're done whenever there's no more really runny parts. You do want to pull these whenever they are lightly runny, actually, because they do keep cooking, which is called carryover cooking. And any food that you cook is going to have carryover cooking. And if you see here, we've got a nice cohesive yellow color. It smells good, smells like an egg. I don't really have any brown spots on it. Just eat your eggs. If they're a little bit brown on there, there's nothing wrong with them. They might taste a little different, taste a little toasty. Yeah, delicious. All right, this is another pretty common one if I had to guess for most people, which is going to be the fried egg. So I have a pan set over medium heat. I'm letting this heat up just a little bit before I put in some butter. We'll just put about a tablespoon in, get that melting. And once that's completely melted, let's go ahead and crack in 2 eggs. So there's a lot of different ways to fry an egg. And the way I usually do it is I will get my eggs into the pan and let them start cooking. And what you'll notice is that they are starting to get solidified around the edges pretty immediately. Now, from here, you can turn the heat to low and let it do like an over easy type egg. Or you could put a lid on it, let it steam and let the whites on the top cook. Or you could flip it like I'm going to do, because that's usually what I do. So get your eggs, flip them with any way you want. You can also use something like this high temp silicone rubber spatula. But no matter what you do, it shouldn't take very long at all for these to cook. And after it's been flipped, I like to season this side with just a little bit of salt and just a pinch of pepper for a little extra flavor. And it's been about, I don't know, 65, 70 seconds. And I'm gonna say that these are done. The whites are cooked all the way through. And now I'm gonna get these out onto a plate so we can take a look. One of my yolks kind of busted, so I'm gonna go ahead and just show you this one. This is usually how I eat my eggs, just runny yolks. But if you want your yolks cooked more, just let them sit there a little longer. It really doesn't take too long for the yolks to get hard by any means. So just a little bit of patience and your eggs can be cooked how you want them to be. Go ahead and give this a little taste. There's plenty of ways to do a fried egg. Pick whichever one you like the most and just do that. You don't have to follow every single recipe to an exact T. Do what you're comfortable with, make it the way you want it, and it's going to taste good. All right, this next one is a little bit more advanced, but it's really not that much more advanced. You're literally boiling eggs out of the shell in water. And there's a couple things you're going to need to make this just a little bit nicer. You don't have to do these, but if you want a nice looking poached egg, you're going to get yourself a strainer like this. And you also want to get yourself a slotted spoon. You'll probably want this in general just so we can use it to get the eggs out later. But the first thing you want to do is get a bowl set up, get yourself a receptacle to put the strained egg in. All you got to do is take your egg, crack it right into the strainer. The white part of this egg is called the albumin, and there's a very watery layer and then there's a very viscous layer. And what we're trying to do is get rid of this watery layer and keep whatever's left in here. I'm gonna put that right into a container, and you should be left with two parts. So you have your egg, which has been separated, and then the watery layer right here. You can save this, you can use it, you can still scramble it. It just doesn't make for a nice looking poached egg. All right, and once we've got those separated, we got some water that is about to start simmering soon. We need to add some sort of acid in the form of vinegar. I'm just gonna use this red wine vinegar. And according to Google, you wanna use about a teaspoon per quart or liter of water in here. I don't know how much water this is, so I'm just gonna add like, I don't know, that much vinegar. It was probably a couple teaspoons at least. And we're gonna let that come up to a light simmer. It's over high heat right now. And as soon as it comes up to a simmer, we will reduce our heat to medium just to keep that light simmer kind of going. We're gonna take a spoon or just some sort of utensil and start swirling this water around. What's gonna happen in a second is I will be dropping an egg into this, and the movement of the water will help to kind of fold the egg on itself and to keep it from just sticking to the bottom of the pan. Dump in the egg, there it goes. And for the second one, I'm going to just kind of test to see if I was right or wrong about the movement with the egg. Because I've done it before and it's worked, but I've also done it before where it just didn't work at all. I'm just going to let these cook for about 3 minutes or until the whites are set. This isn't quite there. It's been about 2 minutes. I'm going to let these go another minute. We'll give it a flip though and let that continue cooking. And the other one fell apart. The yolk just started floating away by itself. So I'm going to cook this one, and then I'm going to cook another one off camera, so you don't have to watch me do this whole process again. But until then, let's get this one done and then transfer it from the pan to a paper towel lined plate. It's done right now. The yolk's still pretty soft. The whites are set, and while it's sitting here and still hot, I'm going to sprinkle it with just a little bit of salt. I still got this other one cooking, so let's get that finished so we can take a look and give it a taste. These aren't the most perfect poached eggs I've made. Probably not even going to be close to the best ones you've seen. I've never even had a poached egg until I was in my late 20s. So I'm going to use whatever I can to justify how not awesome these look, but they look good enough for me to eat. So let's just go ahead and see how the yolk is. That one's obviously good. This one is a little more overcooked than I wanted, but let's give them a taste. It's a really delicate egg. It tastes nice. It's not too eggy, but it still has, you know, a good egg flavor, obviously, because it's an egg. I also think it's a really fun one to learn how to cook. It's challenging for sure. There's a lot of variables that go into it. But once you kind of get it down, I think it's very satisfying to make poached eggs. And I think we can make a lot of different things with this. So, yeah. What's nice about boiled eggs is that there's only two things you really need. And the first thing you need is some water. We're going to fill this up until it hits the first knuckle of our finger. I learned this trick from Chef John. All this really does is allow you to steam your egg. And number one, it lets the water get hot a lot faster. And number two, it allows for a hotter environment around the egg. So we want to get this water to a rolling boil. I've got my pot set over high heat. I'm going to reduce it just to like medium high or so. I don't want it to explode. And then what we're going to do is take an egg and use a spoon or some tongs and just gently lower it into there. Because if you drop it in there, the shell will break and it will be everywhere. Sometimes you will get an egg too that is already kind of cracked without you really noticing, and you'll come back later and wonder why there's egg white everywhere. That's not that big of a problem either. Just make sure you're using fresh, clean water. We're going to cook 3 different eggs. We're going to do a soft boil, medium boil, and a hard boil. And all we gotta do is put a lid on and set our timer for the first one, which is a soft boil, for 7 minutes. And while those are cooking away, you may have noticed this bowl of ice right here. Whenever these are done, we want to take them out of the hot water and put them into a bowl of ice water. So just go ahead and get that ready, set that aside. All right, our 7-minute egg is ready. All I gotta do is get my slotted spoon, place it directly into your ice bath, and then we'll just keep on going. 10-minute egg and the 12-minute egg. I'm gonna let all these sit in the ice bath for another, I don't know, 3 minutes or so. And then we can get to open them up and take a look. So we're gonna do the same thing with all 3 of these. For all of them, you need to be careful doing this, especially the soft boil. Simply take your egg, crack it on all sides, very lightly, top and bottom. I'm just gonna start gently peeling. Got that done. And we'll get the rest done real quick. So this is what I'm left with. Let's go ahead and cut each one of these so we can take a closer look at them. All right, so the soft boil is obviously soft. It's got a runny yolk in it still. This one took 7 minutes. This is the medium boil. As you can tell, it's in between the two right here. Still got a jammy yolk, but it's not runny by any means. This one took 10 minutes. This is the well done 12-minute boiled egg. This is the one I use for if I'm cooking and I'm making deviled eggs, or if I'm like putting it on a salad and I need something that'll kind of like structurally hold together. So yeah, boiled eggs. Real easy, real good. Thank you for watching. I really hope you at least learned something. This first video is just a foundation for the other egg hack videos coming. I feel like this is gonna be one of those videos that people can refer to or show other people that just don't know how to cook something. And now they've got a good reference on how to cook eggs in many different ways. If you made it till the end, please check out this next little bit, which is me letting you know that I have a company called Carnivore Companion. It's probably the best way to support the channel at this point. If you want to, you can go to CarnivoreCompanion.com. Use the code CarnivorousChef to save 15% off your first order. We make great tasting seasonings with none of the BS in it. So anytime you pick up one of our products, you're rest assured to know exactly what's in it. Thank y'all for watching the video. See y'all in the next one.